Well, I went to kindergarten twice, so, so I like colors.
Yeah.
Specifically orange. It's kind of obvious, I guess.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on.
Yeah, so
Recap.
So the what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna have these like conversations. What? That was my foot. What? Okay. So what's going on? This is gonna be kind of just like a what's happening at Cross Boynton Beach, what's happening with Black Sheep Training.
Yep.
Because there's obviously like 2 entities and there's a lot of stuff happening.
What's happening?
So starting off with like some business stuff, and you know we'll get into other components. Do you want to talk about the programs that we've got that we're offering?
Yes, yes. So we have 3 new programs. I'm super hyped about bodybuilding and accessory. So BSG bodybuilding and accessory, and then we also have masters programming now. So 3 programs that we're super excited about to offer to our community, but also just excited to kind of put out there for any people that also follow Black Sheep Training to kind of just step up your game in other areas that you probably haven't been able to, and super excited to launch masters as well.
And then on top of that, we also have our competitor stuff, Black Sheep Black, Black Sheep Green, Black Sheep Gray, which is elite RX and masters programming that for Cross Boynton Beach members starting on Monday the 23rd is free. So CrossFit Boynton Beach members are getting access to all of those for free. And we're trying to do something with the gym. So Black Sheep Training, remote, online stuff aside, the goal is we're kind of at a crossroads right now where we've got a couple different options on directions that we can go. And we're trying to figure out if we're going to go big, if we're going to like stay where we're at and stay kind of the size we're at, or if we're going to kind of take a step back and get a little bit more intimate. And
we honestly spent the last month trying to figure that out, I feel like. Yeah. And then we decided to start offering these programs to kind of get more people just like on the bandwagon too, as well, for Black Sheep Training.
Yeah, and we want to try to make like the CrossFit Boynton Beach experience, like in person, in house, at our brick and mortar gym experience like no other CrossFit gym has currently. And
it's very different. Like I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about this, like Black Sheep Training. It's the first gym that I've ever been at that, like, you know, as a competitor, like we're competitors, we like kind of do this for a living in a way, but we have so many people that like are just living everyday regular lives that come in and they do 2-a-days and they want to train and they want that extra programming, they want that extra help, they want those skills, and they want to compete and they want to win. So like it's a very competitive style gym for like across the board. And it's not that everyone's competing at RX, it's intermediate, it's scaled, it's, you know, masters, we've got it all across the board.
And we are trying to do something that I don't think's really been touched on a whole lot in the CrossFit space before, as far as like creating an online presence and making a big push in the online space and the elite high level space, but also trying to create this like brick and mortar entity that for the specific people that live around us, specifically the city of Boynton Beach and the county of Palm Beach County, benefits as much as possible. So we're like trying to do a bunch of things at once.
I know.
But we talked a little bit about like our goals. So we, along the lines of you know, figuring out what direction we want to go, we kind of sat down and figured out some like, not necessarily a mission statement as far as like, you know, here's who we are, who's what we stand for, because that's already been kind of done in the past.
Almost more of like our purpose.
What our purpose is. So, and what our specific goals are, because I'm a very analytical person. So what we decided our goal was, so currently, I believe there's about 85,000 people living in the city of Boynton Beach. So what's the goal?
Remember? I say the whole thing.
So the goal is
to reach as many people in Boynton Beach as possible.
Yeah, so specifically we want to reach 10% of the population of Boynton Beach over the next 10 years. So 10% of 85,000 roughly, that's about 8,500 people.
By the way, guys, he's really good at simple math. I am not.
Yeah.
So that's
well,
why
and that's about it. That's about all I have. But
I'm just strong.
That's about That's about 8,500 people. So our goal over the next 10 years is to reach 8,500 people in a life-changing way. And what we've decided, and after looking, and after looking at, you know, like our member, you know, turnover and, you know, who competes and who doesn't, and you know, when people leave us, where are they going and what are they doing? Are they continuing in fitness? And with all these things considered, we've found that if somebody were to stay with us for 2 years,
2 years,
we believe that whether they stay with us past that or they go to another gym, whether it be a competitor of ours or if they want to just get outside and start running or biking, or if they move, whatever, over those 2 years, we've had enough time with them to instill some of our beliefs in them and some of how we believe that fitness should be done and how lifestyle should be done. So whether they continue their fitness life with us or with somebody else, if we've seen them for 2 years, we've made a positive change in their life that's gonna leave with them. So we want to keep 8,500 people for longer than 2 years. Over the next 10 years. And there's a funny little thing that they say that every one person has the ability to affect 9 in a positive way. And you know, there's a million different ways, like 6 degrees of separation. And like we all know Kevin Bacon. I think that's what that comes from. Like we all know Kevin Bacon, 6 degrees. But every one person has the ability to affect 9 people positively in one way. So if we had an ability over the next 10 years to affect 10% of Boynton Beach's population, then theoretically, and obviously this isn't exactly how it works, but theoretically, the entire city of Boynton Beach and the 90,000 people would be living their life in a better way, in a more positive way, in a more fit way, whatever that is.
Well, I think too, like it goes back to like it's like black sheep culture of like, we kind of do things a little bit differently. And like, I remember when I first came to visit, I was like, something is different, but like, I don't really understand it. And I'm kind of scared, but like, I kind of went in like a weird way. And then like now being here and hearing the stories of just the people at the gym, like you kind of always say, like, these are people that wouldn't just walk into like your typical CrossFit gym, and just like hearing how they've affected their life in such a positive way. And I really do think that like, them going out and telling other people that they like have been surrounded with in the past, like that makes a positive impact for them to be like, oh, maybe like this CrossFit thing is for me too. And then on top of that, like it's no longer just about like weight loss or, you know, getting bigger or stronger. It's like you want to like start to compete, and you kind of change like your priorities in your life, and you kind of shift and find a better balance.
It's okay.
Just took the light out with that one. I honestly don't remember what I was saying, but I just feel like there's so much of what you're saying. It's like, yeah, you affect 9 people, but like that's so true. Like because they go out and they talk about what they do, and people are like, what are you doing? That's like making you live this life that's so different from like everybody else in like the typical world.
For sure. Yeah. And you know, like everything that you just said, and you know, in our like searching of like, okay, what's our next move? And like we've talked a lot about that.
We've talked a lot about
like what's the next move for the business? What's the next move for like the direction of our coaching? What's the next move for the direction of our brand? And I feel like us taking a step in the direction of, okay, let's change a city.
How dope would that be?
That would be dope. Yeah.
But I feel like if anybody can do it, we can do it.
We can do it. Yeah. And it could be like our place will be the hub of changing a city, which I don't know if a lot of CrossFits have done that, and I don't know if it can be done. So we're going to be the test dummy, and we're going to find out if we can, if that can be done. But I think that the more we've talked about like what direction we should be going and what our goals should be, I think that's just like started to resonate a lot with us. And like you know, like you kind of just talked about, and you know, the goal is to make changes aesthetically, and the goal is to make changes in health markers and and all of those things. But I think that what we're gonna differentiate ourselves from, and what we have over the last 10 years, and what we're going to continue to do over the next 10 years, is bring the culture into it also,
Yeah.
to where it's not just about fitness, but it's about
a
an
shift is
entire,
happening.
a shift is happening.
A shift is
Yeah,
definitely
just-
happening in Black Sheep.
Yeah, and just living a more fulfilled life,
Yep.
and whatever that might mean, and
Mhm.
we're still trying to figure out like what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of possibilities. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? A lot of exciting possibilities, but a lot of possibilities on how can we affect as many lives as possible in as great of a way as possible.
Yeah. And I think that's something that we've just talked a lot about too, because we've had a lot of opportunities to go like compete on our own and just like more recently, and like connect with people in ways that we probably would not have before, just because of the opportunities that we were given. And so I think that's kind of what's led us to like, it's no longer just about goals, but like what is really the purpose of Black Sheep, and like what are we trying to bring to people, and what are we trying to connect with them on. And now we have this goal of like, all right, we want to change the city. We want to change the city and impact as many people as we can. And by doing that, it's just, we see these people every single day for an hour, and a lot can happen in that hour. And then 90% of the time they come back and they do another session. So we see them for maybe 2 hours. So I just think that there's so much potential here for Black Sheep. And again, we're not like your typical looking gym. Like we just aren't. Like I feel like I'm a different type of like Black Sheep than you are. Like we both have like different paths, very different paths. But like, you kind of have this part of you that's
I played
like,
hockey.
No, he did
college.
not. He did not play hockey. He loves to bring that up daily, though, that I did. So I'm very proud of it. But anyway, that being said, like, I kind of took this opportunity to come down here in January and be like, I'm going to, like, just go for it. Like, I don't even know this guy that much, but, I know he can't really rent a car to save his life, but...
It's a conversation for another day, but
another
yes.
time.
Yeah.
But, something about it was just, like, we knew right away that we had big goals. And again, we're finding now that those weren't just goals. Like that was just aligning with like our life's purpose of like, we're very passionate people and we have a tendency to just go all in with everything that we do, which is probably why we want to like conquer the city at this point and just like get people healthier and just living a better life. And
and like that aside, like half joking, half not, like,
we're not joking.
But like coming out of like weekends sometimes we'll be
really
like,
say that.
well, yeah, we'll be like, all right,
time to conquer the world on
fun
Monday.
weekend, time to get back to work and conquer the world.
Yeah. Pretty much every like road trip too that we've been on, we're like, oh yeah, we'll come up with some dope ideas. We come back on Monday, we have like 8 dope ideas about something.
Yeah. Yeah, and the goal for us, the goal for our brand has always been to like make as many positive changes in people's lives as possible.
Yeah.
But this is the first time that it's like there's a lot of
behind it.
There's a lot of meaning behind it, and there's a lot of I'm gonna ruin the saying, but they're like
here we go.
Tired to the pavement. Tired to the the pavement. Like we're on the pavement. Like we're running, we're rolling, the car's going. We're going. I don't know.
Okay,
we'll figure it out later.
We'll have to check in with Kristen about that one. She's got a list.
Yeah. And we're actually like creating some numerics as far as like, okay, well, reach a lot of people. What exactly does it mean? Okay, well, it means 8,500 people over the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Or over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Or 2 years each. But
yeah.
So talking about like competition stuff, Vanguard just passed, which was super fun.
Got that dub.
Got the dub. And then 11th Element / Cross Boynton Beach team.
Yeah.
Got the dub in the intermediate division.
We took over Vanguard.
Yeah.
Like, and then Aaron and Dante. Was that
got the dub.
Was that RX or were they Masters?
They were Masters.
They were Masters. They got the dub.
Yep.
We had some other Masters, Helena and Sonia.
Yep. They showed up. Trish and Alexis
did awesome.
Both of them like got super outside of their comfort zone and like did their thing.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that like what was so cool about that is we saw so many people that haven't competed yet that were like a little bit newer to the gym, kind of like drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and
this
big
is
time
what it's like to be with Black Sheep.
For sure.
And show up.
And what was super cool too was first and second in the intermediate division.
That was honestly
that first Element team.
Yeah.
Or the 11th, I'm sorry, Logan.
First
the 11th Element team came in first.
3 elements.
And then the 6 a.m. crew, which it literally is the 6 a.m. crew.
Oh my gosh.
But it's dope that there was a team from the 6 a.m. crew.
It was. That's what made me, I actually went up to them. Did I tell you the story?
No.
So I went up to the 6 a.m. crew, like right before their last event. And it was like the rope climb. It was the rope climb, dumbbell snatch.
So before you go on, They were in fourth place.
They were tied for fourth.
They were tied for fourth.
Well, tied for third.
I was
they were
hoping that
fourth.
Jack Daniels was going to sponsor us.
Oh.
That's why I was there.
Is
No,
it
we
in the way?
can keep it out. Okay, it's fine. But
Oh, you were just trying to block
Jack
me out.
Jack Daniels, please sponsor us.
Put it on the end.
Him. Sponsor him.
Jack Daniels, looking for sponsors.
And 5 Hour Energy.
Yeah, Jack Daniels and 5 Hour Energy.
Anyway,
yeah,
they were tied for
They
were in fourth.
Right, because they had less first places or whatever the tiebreak was.
Yes.
And then going into the event.
I walked up and I said, listen, y'all got the whole 6 a.m. on your back right now. And if you guys don't know anything about our 6 a.m. class, they're wild. Number one, they're very competitive. They don't show up at 6 a.m. They show up at 6:10. And they make my life a little bit crazy, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Specifically Dante's class. There's actually two classes.
Dante will love that it's Dante's class.
No, we need to not say that. That's actually not okay. Because this morning he literally ran his own class. 4 minutes after I hit go, he was like, we're going to go separate. I'm like, oh, you are? Okay, cool. Anyways, the 6 a.m. I was like, you guys have the entire 6 a.m. class on your back right now. And I'm going to need y'all to step it up because you represent the whole 6 a.m. And I'm just saying, I might not coach 6 a.m. on Tuesday if you guys don't win.
Yeah.
And so I kind of threatened him a little bit. And then I gave him a hug and I said, go kill it. And then they won the event.
Yeah, that was sick.
And they got second.
They came in second. Like they were fighting for a podium spot and ended up jumping third and coming in second.
Which is like, it's so cool as a coach. Like I watch these people every morning and like as much as a hard time I give them, like they come in and they work their butts off.
Yeah.
Like they really do. And they wake up early to do it. Like they all go to like their jobs after, even though they hang out and take videos for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But they do extra work. Like they all put in extra work to prepare for this competition. And like I personally was more fulfilled watching those intermediate teams take the podium and like do that than like it was for me. Like it was.
Yeah, because we were going to win regardless.
And yes.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
But yes, no, I agree with you. I agree with
again,
you.
it was just like one of those things that I was just like, especially like as a coach, like just watching that group that you watch every morning, like go out and do their thing and like represent our gym like that. Like it's just like that's what CrossFit's about.
Sick. Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah, I was sick. Yeah, so next one is Wadamania.
Yeah.
Which Wadamania, you haven't been to a Wadamania
I have
yet.
not been to Wadamania, but I've helped build their rig.
Yeah, that you have.
One of the pull-up bars fell on me. Shout out to
TJ and Tom.
TJ, I love your truck. Thanks for letting me drive your truck. I want a truck now.
Yeah.
Wadamania.
Wadamania will be the next one.
We're gonna take over Wadamania.
Yeah. Yes.
You and I are gonna go coach.
Yeah. So and that's something that we spoke about that we are not going to compete. You and I are not going to compete.
We kind of decided that after Vanguard.
We're going to be there like 100% present, coaching, there for everybody. Yeah. So if you're on the fence about signing up for Wadamania, let this be what pushes you to do it. Like you are going to have your own coaches there.
Yep.
Pushing you along, helping you strategize, because we're going to do a lot of strategizing stuff like leading up to it. We'll probably end up doing like some type of camp weekend leading up to it also. We usually do for that. We usually do for bacon and we usually do for Wadamania. So we'll do it for Wadamania also, especially now that we're not going to be doing it. We could like focus on everybody else.
Dope idea. But in all seriousness, like we did talk about that after Vanguard because we were trying to decide what we were going to do for teams because there's a bunch of us that were like thinking about doing it. And then him and I kind of were like, you know what would be really cool? Like we're investing so much into our members right now with like this training and coaching them. And we also have like ID programming as well that we've talked about before that we were like, it'd be kind of dope to just like show up for them.
Yeah.
Like, cause a lot of times they show up, they're all like, they're so supportive of us and like seeing everybody when we're done, like competing is always very rewarding. But like, I think us showing up for them and just showing like what it's like to be coached at a competition is very cool. And it helps a little bit with the stress of competition because it can be very stressful, especially if it's your first time. So like, kind of like you said, like just let that be like your encouragement if you've never competed before.
So
we're gonna be there.
We're gonna have the biggest presence there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I promise you, there will not be another gym there that will have 2 full-time coaches there.
Yeah.
Taking care of their athletes. So that's gonna be our job that weekend.
Got you guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna take good care of you.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And then
is it 2 days or is it 1 day?
It's one. Well, no.
Oh. 1 day.
They're not doing Friday nights? I thought they were doing the lift on Friday night.
I don't know. Since you're one of Wantamania for me, so I don't know.
I'm not on social media right now. So
Alex is not on social media. So he's not ignoring you.
Yeah, yes.
He's just not on social media.
We had dinner with somebody last night that was like, yo, I sent you a message and you've been ignoring me.
You want to get to Alex, talk to me and I'll tell him.
I have not been ignoring anybody. I'm just not on social media right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I don't know if it's 1 day or 2 days, but either way.
I feel like it's 1 day, but again, I don't know.
Usually it is 1 day, but there's been like they were talking about doing 2 days.
Yeah.
But like a Friday night, kind of like how they did for Pensacola, where it was like on Friday it was one event. So like talking about doing like a Friday night lights type of thing, which would be super cool.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
I wish Pensacola was the same way, but it was swimming, so I guess it could not have been in the.
That would have been weird.
Well, there were sharks. So.
Dolphins.
Sharks.
Dolphins.
The photographer said sharks, so I'm going with sharks. If it was, we did see dolphins though. I ran when I saw dolphins.
I heard that it was dolphins in the water.
Well, I heard differently.
Okay.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
There were probably dolphins in the photo too, but
yeah.
I swam with sharks.
That's fine. Okay, cool. We'll take it.
What else? We have other updates. Vanguard. Automania. Oh, we did test week.
Yeah,
test week. So this was actually this was his dope idea to just do an entire week. I try to hype him up, and sometimes he just like doesn't take it. Whatever. His dope idea was like, let's do an entire week of testing.
Yeah.
And we literally sat down. Was it you, me, who else? Somebody else was there. I don't know. There was a group of us that sat down and we just started throwing like workouts up on the board, and we were like, we're gonna test this, this, and this. And it wasn't just like throwing like workouts up on a board. It was like all energy systems and different things that we were like, the Open's coming up, it's closer than you think. The season is kind of starting in a weird sense. Like off season is coming to an end, and we're starting to kind of dial in for the Open. And we're like, usually you have an avatar to base programming off of. We're like, why don't we just use our 350 members of our gym and let's put everybody through a test week. Timing was kind of tough on it. I feel like that's always hard. There's no good test week for anybody, I think.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun. We got a lot of cool data.
It was cool.
Yeah, and one of the things that when is this video going to get put up? Wednesday. Okay, so coming soon. We're going to send a link out where you can actually schedule consultations with us to talk about how you did through test week and talk about what it means for you and what you might need some suggestions on or how to move forward. With the goal being in every Open, and we'll do another one of these conversations before the Open, but just to kind of like throw it out in the air, I'd have to look and see how many like quarterfinalists we qualified last year.
Yeah.
But this year is going to be 50. The goal is going to be 50. So the goal is going to be to get 50 of our competitors or athletes to qualify, which is that top 10% in the continent. And so with all that being said, the goal with these energy system tests and the goal with these tests was to kind of emulate and simulate what we believe not just Open tests might look like, but what the demands of energy system manipulation might look like through the Open, so that we can get a good idea about where everybody's at. So we're not just testing random things, we're testing things that are applicable to the Open.
Not random at all.
Yeah, so with all that being said, this is gonna be, and we talked about this on the daily videos that we put up, but this is gonna be roughly a 6 to 8 week cycle, depending on how we see people are kind of adapting to things. So that would put us ending this cycle right around the new year. So a new cycle is gonna, right around the end of the year. So a new cycle is going to begin with the beginning of the new year, which will be us like just fine tuning things. So
because it's go time at that point.
Yeah. And like really, and you already said it, like really it's kind of go time now. Like, it's kind of go time now. So if you're somebody that like, we're not suggesting that everybody needs to like obsess over things or needs to compete 3, 4, 5 times a year. But if you're somebody that enjoys doing well in the Open,
and you have goals too.
Right now is the time to dial that in.
Yep.
And no time's better than now. The new training cycle started October 23rd. So if this gets put out on whatever, like October 28th or whatever that day falls on, even if you waited till the following Monday, you're only 1 week into the current training cycle. Like now is the time. Don't wait. And it happens all the time where like January 1st will come and people will be like, you know, CrossFit HQ will start putting out, a bunch of stuff about like open is X, you know, it's 35, 34, 33 days away, that kind of thing. Now's the time to do
the stuff that you hate.
Now's the time to get ready for that. So let this be, let this be your like call, like realization that like right now's the time to get into open shape, not in January.
Yeah.
And we're trying to set
too late.
We're trying to set you guys up as well as possible for that. So, but yeah, a lot of cool data. As you guys go, and if you're watching this, chances are you're on our email list, so you probably got emails from us as well.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys are submitting and uploading your results.
Yes.
Because the programming, especially the competitors programming and the class programming, is going to be tailored based on how we see the population is adapting to things. So if you're somebody that's having like great exposure or great experiences with the progressions, or on the opposite end, things aren't going well.
That also means not building on the days that Jesse says not to build.
Like the back squat days?
Yeah, like the back squat that was 67% the other day.
Do you want to call somebody specific out?
No.
Was it Dante?
I'm not going to say names, but Dante's going to hold too much time tonight on the show. Maybe he'll be the next guest.
Yeah.
He does have a lot of on Instagram, though, you know?
Dante's coming over.
We should have some of the 6 a.m.ers come. We should take...
Dante.
I almost feel like we should have some people from like certain classes.
That would be cool.
That would actually be really cool.
So one of the things that I did want to do, and maybe this will be...
That would be so cool.
So our next conversation, so Ryan Bedell.
Yeah,
so Ryan Bedell is a part of the 6 a.m. class.
He's a champ,
He was on that second place team at Vanguard. And he has just been so... I know you said I can't curse, so... so effing dialed in for the last like year. It's been crazy. He's like, changed the way he thinks about fitness and changed the way he, exercises. And then he and I have been working together for probably like 7 or 8 months now on like an individual basis. And it's just like, he just puts his head down and just like goes.
He does.
So that is definitely the person that we have to have a conversation with next. And he doesn't hate the Miami Hurricanes. So I wouldn't mind him for that because Dante, I could put in the back burner for that. But, but either way, shout out to Ryan Bedell.
Yeah. Ryan, you're killing it.
Yeah, and it was super cool to see him podium. And that whole team podium. But he's definitely been putting in the work.
And I think that kind of ties into like everything that we were talking about because it's not just like Ryan committed physically, but like I feel like his whole life changed when he walked into that gym. Yeah. Like he's got like a solid group of friends. Like that 6 a.m. group is tight.
Yeah.
But just it's such a good example of what can happen when like you find a good gym and you find your people in the gym because we have a lot of members at our gym and even within our gym, everyone's kind of got their people that keep them going and we show up at competitions and we all do our thing. But seeing Ryan kind of podium was just like. I think you said to me, you were like, this is like kind of a dope story. And I was like, this is actually really true. And everybody loves Ryan. So yeah. Good stuff, Ryan.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, cool. I think that was good.
I think that was pretty good. Steak time. 30-ish minutes. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, that's good. All right.
Don't forget to tag Jack Daniels.
Yeah. All right. Next time.